finally found the most generic live show. This is the Generic Live Show.
Hour 2 of the program. Thanks for joining. I can't do my screamy shout thing to this soft music, right? Hour 2 of the Generic Live Show. We're singing now, cause I don't know why. Apparently Dale's singing things is everyone's favourite bit, and I don't get it, but I don't get a lot of these, so what else is new? Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here on hour 2 of the program. Thanks for joining us. It's Dale Campbell here with you, as per always. We're doing a very, very different episode. We're doing some rapid fire news at your face. And then we're going to take the last half of the hour to reminisce. Reminisce about something special. So, there you go. We talked about this last hour, but again, there are some people that somehow only listen to the first hour of the show, but not listen to the second hour, which I still find kind of weird, but people are weird, so what can you do? Over 2.7 million Australians are affected by the now compulsory airbags, making it the nation's largest product recall on history. ABC News has the details.
The list of cars with faulty airbags has been ever growing. Manufacturers are now being compelled to contact anyone who needs a replacement, but they won't always have up-to-date records, so the responsibility falls to the owner. The recall is now compulsory. The ACCC website lists the car models that are affected, and now an extra 1.3 million cars with faulty airbags will be added to that list by April 3rd, and it'll include more big names such as Ford, Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Land Rover and Audi. So how do you find out if your car is affected? Well, first you need to find your vehicle identification number. That's often under the windscreen or near the driver's door. Once you have your VIN, you'll be able to enter it into a searchable database on your car maker's website. Manufacturers say they're confident they can quickly fix these faults, but if it takes longer than a day, they have to give you alternative transport. The replacement must be free and won't affect car insurance costs. So what about the 1.7 million cars that have already had their airbags replaced? Well, some of them ended up with the same faulty airbags. However, the industry can't say just how many.
The issue here is the technology is safe up to 6 years. So we replace the bag as it gets closer to 6 years in full knowledge that that bag will need to be replaced at a later date, thus keeping consumers and motorists safe.
So for now, the advice is work out if your car is faulty and contact the manufacturer immediately. By the year 2020, all the defective Takata airbags will need to be decommissioned.
Oh, Dale, don't drink coffee right before a clip ending. That was the ABC with a detailed description of the recall. Kerry is saying the stream is frozen. Ooh, it's all good on my end. No dropped frames. Huh, I don't know. I mean, I did put this together last minute, so is there audio? On my end. There is audio. I mean, the output I'm getting is fine. Huh. Weird. Could be me. I don't know. I seriously don't know. Again, pre-showers will appreciate me. Pre-showers will appreciate me frantically setting up the stream live on air. So it's all, yeah, it's all good on my end. Weird. I have to sit down and figure this out. Anyway, because all of my settings are wiped, like straight away. So I do apologize. China's Congress. Moving on from there. Could be me. Wiped. Huh. Well, if the video's off, then this might just have to be audio only. Huh. Sorry, YouTubers. Ooh, I just dropped 20 frames. Ooh, dropped frames. I mean... Huh. Okay. Again, I apologize. I don't know what is happening. So, China, China, votes to abolish presidential term limits. Breaking news. This broke last night. Are we back? I don't think so. Weird. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, we are back. Alright. That's weird. Okay. I do apologize for the video. Yes. China Congress's votes to abolish presidential term limits, allowing President XI, which would be 11, to rule indefinitely. So there you go. President is going to be there for ever. So China, bye-bye elections. It passed with a majority with 2 no votes and 3 abstains among the 3,000 delegates. Jeepers. China's ruling. Okay. Chorus Rona says, it was having issues for me at the same time, but I can see or hear you and hear you now. It could have been my internet. My internet does this weird thing where it just doesn't crap out, it just dives. So I did drop 20 frames, so I reckon it's dipped and come back now. So there you go. China's ruling Communist Party proposed the amendment last month, and there was never any doubt that it would pass Parliament. It was packed with the loyal party members who would not be opposed to the proposal. Alright, I'm going to do that. I'm going to apologize. There we go. Additionally, clauses were included to give a legal framework to a new super anti-corruption department. There's a video about voting.
是党和人民意志的集中体现，以习近平具有十分重大而深远的意义。
So that's obviously the read.
内地和香港在广深港高铁西九龙站设立口岸，充实加强人大预算决算。
Pause. That is a packed parliament too. Like that is huge. Huh. There's a lot of people there.
监督的法律规定，推动建立全面、规范、透明、标准、科学。
Okay. I could not tell you what that was, and I hope it was not a. Hope anything bad. Reporters were briefly ushered from the main hall. Delegates filed in their bullet papers. Jesus, I'm distracted now. But allowed to see them placing the papers one by one into a large red ballot box around the room. The president casted his vote first, heard him first at the hall, then turned by other 6 members of the party's elite standing committee who runs China. Mr. Zhai's tenure was due to expire in 2022, but now he's going to rule forever. Here is Richard McGregor from the ABC to explain the president's rise to power.
So in other words, there's no limit on President Xi staying on as president, and of course there's already no limit to him staying on as head of the Communist Party, which is the really powerful position, but it's really an enormously symbolic move in any case, because it unwinds all these sorts of rules and norms which have been put into place over the last 20, 30 years in China, trying to sort of pull back from one-man rule. So it's a big deal. And when you say the National People's Congress is going to vote on this, I don't think there's going to be, it's not going to be 51-49. It's going to be probably 100-0, and it will be very interesting to see whether we do get any symbolic votes against or abstentions. The Chinese system is very opaque. It's very hard for us to unpick each moment as it happens and how that happened. But as head of the Communist Party, he has enormous executive power anyway, and he's used this in the way that his predecessors haven't. And in fact, this decision this week is kind of one of those ones which is unsurprising but shocking, or shocking, not shocking but surprising. In other words, it's consistent with how he's behaved over the last 5 years in accumulating power and absolutely eliminating his enemies. And in this case, I think he's got so many enemies, he can't afford to leave office, because that's when he would be vulnerable. So that's a big incentive for him to do this. The root of this is with Chairman Mao, who was an autocrat, a totalitarian dictator who caused great harm to China through convulsive political campaigns. So the reason why there are term limits and these sort of unofficial limits all through the system is so we wouldn't have another Chairman Mao. Now, having said that, today's China is not like Mao's China. Xi Jinping is not, yet like Mao. Mao was in office for 26 years or something like that. But really, the whole reason they were there is so that China didn't have fall back into sort of one-man rule.
That is Richard McGregor from the Lowy Institute to explain just the implications of this. I mean, let's be completely real here for a second. Let's get real. Let's get real. And people can jump on the Discord and scream and shout, jump in the voice chat and tell me if I'm wrong. But I kind of have to agree. This is not surprising. And I kind of thought that the Communist Party being in power and the fact that they have unlimited term limits for their leaders, I actually thought that China already had a rule. I know they have elections, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I thought the elections were an arbitrary measure. I didn't think that they were real. Not that the fact that they weren't real or if they were quote-unquote rigged, but I didn't know if they were they were just used as a motion. A means to an end, if that makes sense. So it was that's my opinion. That's my opinion. But I don't know if President Xi is going to be in power for 26 years, though. I think something's going to happen in the next couple of years where he's overthrown. Putting it out there. But again, that's what I mean. Out of 3,000 people, 2 said no and quit the next day, and 3 abstained, which they also didn't quit but took absentee leave. But among 3,000 delegates, that's like a 99% success rate. But again, I'm not shocked. I'm more surprised that this hasn't happened sooner, if that makes sense. Moving on with our next story, off the back of that, Netflix. You know, the Netflix, they have the Queer Eye for not a straight guy. Actually, for 90% straight guys. Netflix has apparently, now according to Mashable, have 700 originals happening in 2018. Now, I saw this headline and I went, do they though? A running joke throughout the most recent season of South Park saw Netflix representative continually answer the phone with a bunch of fourth graders with, "Hello, Netflix, you've been greenlight, who am I speaking with?" I started to do a voice then, but then realized, I can do, that's a perfect chance. Alright, so I'm Dale. I'm going to call up Netflix. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bring. Actually, I have a phone ringing sound effect, don't I? Please tell me I have a phone ringing sound effect. I probably don't. I do actually. Alright, so I'm Dale. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, it's the phone. Hi, welcome to Netflix. You've been greenlit. Who am I speaking with? My name is Water Buffalo, and, I'm apparently on a generic live show right now. My god, I can't believe it. Oh, hang on, hold the line, there's another phone call coming in. Do you see how that works? The phone, it rings, and then you answer the phone. Hi, hello, welcome to Netflix, you've been greenlit. Who am I speaking with? Oh, I'm speaking with the same person as before. I do not know that. My parents died, and I'm very upset. And they always just died. I don't know what the story is. And this voice is not Water Buffalo anymore, because it's just a... Yeah, he does that. He just goes... That's his new thing. Do you see how that works? Okay. Well, it turns out... Apparently, it's true. According to Variety, at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media and Telecom Conference, that sounds like a hoot. On February 27th, CFO David Wells stated that the streaming mogul will spend about $8 billion on content this year. $8 billion! A big chunk of that is going into original shows, he said, which will result in roughly 700 Netflix originals in 2018. Carrie in the chat says, it's Water Buffalo's awkward cousin, Water Yak. Hi, my name is Water Yak. And he does that. Water Yak's going through puberty, apparently. So, he goes, my name is Water Yak. I'm like this. I talk like Goofy. Goofy? Goofy. That's really good. Water Yak. I like the word yak. A Netflix representative told Mashable that the content budget properties already know and love Stranger Things, as well as the licensing parents like AMC's The Walking Dead. Oh, this is across all Netflixes. There's a clip here. We're probably going to get... We're going to try this anyway.
Netflix, you're greenlit. Who am I speaking with?
Yes, hello. We have an idea for a show that we think would be great for Netflix.
Okay, great. Would you like a pilot or just go straight to an order of 6 episodes?
Oh.
We'd like to go right into 6 episodes with a pickup option at the end of 3.
Got it. Can you start shooting next month?
Got a show about transsexual dragons here.
We've got a show about transsexual dragons. That's pretty good. Hi, my name is Water Yak. And I've got a show about transsexual dragons. Do you see how that works? No! Because they're dragons. Dragons can be who they want to be. The show's called Drag On. It's about transsexual dragons. Kerry says Woody Yak's parents also, quote unquote, just died, but instead of New Jersey, they were in South Dakota. That's right, that was Water Buffalo's whole bit, was they died in New Jersey. Deep cuts. Geek.io Show, Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Geek.io Show. Tune in. Go listen to the episode called The Best Worst Debate Club. That's the episode that's from. Boy. Transsexual dragons, huh? Huh. Go figure. While 700 is an outstanding number, it's devoting from Netflix's established business model, using original content to drive subscriptions. That's true. I can see that. I can see how they would use that for that. Oh no, my internet's dipping. Oh well. I'm gonna just push through. Push through. Oh no. Well. It's worth a shot. However, the question of quality, however, does not appear to be a focus. But Wells did mention how it used to be a good proportion of these funds for international Netflix programs, like their German hit Dark. They're currently planning on 80 foreign shows and films this year. But Wells did explain one shift in the company's strategy. Last month, Netflix revealed to investors that they will increase their spending on marketing from 1.3 in 2017 to $2 billion in 2018. Quote, "We used to think that every incremental dollar was spent on content," he said. "We think marketing is a multiplier on the content spend. Splendid. Splendid spending." Oof, boy. My internet is all over the place. I'm just hoping that I get this. Netflix is good. Oh, we've got an update though to this article. Beep 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 beep. Update. More content. More context on the explicit nature of the $8 billion budget for content was added to the article courtesy of Netflix original. Okay, that makes sense. That's where they get got the money, got the figure amount from. I mean, Netflix is very cool, and they are proven their success rate already with shows like Queer Eye, the recent reboot of the Queer Eye series, and proving that they can make that content, which is the new Queer Eye is that there's going to be tough competition to beat that. First of all, second of all, it's again going to be very tough to beat that, but also. I was on Netflix the other day and it was just like, hey, you finished with Queer Eye? These are the 3 new series this week. Series? Serial? Serial? Is it Serial? It's Serial. Serial, the TV show. The podcast now turned TV show, because that's a podcast that's no longer around. Ever heard from Serial? What's Serial up to these days? You know it blew up the internet like 3 years ago. Alright. As we continue here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday, well, we're going to push through this internet, whatever it's doing. Who knows what it's doing? Anyway, we're going to push through, and on the other side, we're going to reminisce about the past, and we're going to give away a Generic Live hoodie. All this and more coming up on the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure as per always, even with crappy internet. So glad that we still get to do this show. Thanks for joining us. It's Dale Campbell here with you. We'll be right back.
We're here to give you a big dose of genericness. This is the Generic Live Show.
Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. We're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks for joining us. I deeply apologise for this. This is not what I had planned to do, but we're gonna push on the audio version of the show. The video, there won't be a video version of the show this week. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm definitely gonna put that out there. There's 150% sure that there's not going to be a video version of the show. If there is, it's going to be a very insanely Christmas miracle. And I might re-upload the audio because the audio is fine. The audio recording that I'm doing in the background is fine, but apparently the video is giving people a few words, and that's about it. Well, hey. Thanks for joining us here on the channel. For a Sunday, it's Dale Campbell here with you. We're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks for joining us. You know what? I feel kind of bad. I'm just doing the show for no reason this week. But let's get moving here. Let's push on again. Like I said, and again, if this goes out, I've got the audio recording going, so there will be audio of this, and that would make no sense to everyone, as the video is just lagging, and my computer is just struggling today. I have no idea why, but we'll go with that. And we're back. And we are currently off air. I had some major hardware dysfunctions today. Apologies if this audio sounds a little weird. It might, because yes, I had some very difficult technical difficulties, some hardware failures today. Luckily, like I said, the audio isn't terrible, so it's workable. We can work with this. Man, it's kind of hard to ramp yourself up for something when you're not on the air, right? Kinda, it's a little weird, but that's where we were up to. Is same as you remember, same as it ever was, the Journey to Graduation edition. And before we get on out of here for this hour, I wanted to do a very talk about my graduation, my internship, and all of that entailed. Now, I did an internship in early 2017 with a not-for-profit organization, Study Cans. It's a small-ish business that helps international students find education here in far north Queensland in Australia. I just realised, even when I'm off air, I don't have my microphone muted. My phone muted. Full disclaimer, again, we're offline. I'm doing this offline because I can't really do anything online at the moment. So, we're doing this offline for now. So, the internship basically, and I hope I'm not talking out of school. If I am, this is going to get very awkward very quickly. But it entailed me basically being an admin / marketing assistant, which, like every job, you have to go for an initial interview. The initial interview went well, and she seemed to like me. Michelle, if you're listening, hi. It's good to talk to you? Question mark. I don't know what to say after that. It's good to see you in this audio format. It's good to talk to you when it's only a one-way conversation. It's a little bit bizarre, but it's a little bit surreal. But one thing so the interview went well, and I started, and I was starting on some basic tasks, basically to see where my ability level is at, which is pretty standard. And as the internship went on and on, it kind of, the tasks got a little bit heavier and a little bit harder. And one thing I noticed as well is there was a lot to write on, because there was me and Michelle, who was the other full-time person working on this sort of thing at the same time as me. So I was basically assisting her with everything. And towards the end of my internship, there was a major conference on. And the major conference meant that there was, I can't remember how many delegates, but there was a lot of delegates coming from all around in America, the UK, Cambodia. We had so many Cambodians. Cambodians? Are they called Cambodians? I don't know if they're called Cambodians. People from Cambodia here and in Cairns, which is lovely. It boosts tourism, and had to help organise that. Had to help because we had to take them on a 3-day familiarization. There was a few that signed up for a pre-familiarization, I don't want to call sessions, because it was all one thing. It's two. These are people that are investing in Cairns, really, and why they should pick Cairns to send their students. So, a 3-day getting to know Cairns tour. I'll call it a tour. Why not? That was really weird. My voice went really high. I'm recording this late at night because it's the only time I have. And the opportunity to have a hands-on approach like that in such a significant way is something that I never would have experienced. And we're talking like helping on the day with very important tasks, and I was up for the challenge, and it was everything from fetching coffee to doing photocopying to tying these little USB sticks to a whole bunch of marketing collateral information I had on these USB sticks, and tying those on thread, and like having those tie on, and having that do those, and having to do about 100 of them over and over and over again, tying them to these little like Nemo plushies and that sort of stuff. I sincerely hope I still have my Nemo plushie. I know I have the Nemo USB stick. I need to show it sometime on the stream when I'm on camera. Is that thing is definitely something to behold. And what I mean by Nemo fish is the like Finding Nemo, the clownfish is what I mean by those. But one thing as well, I was so honored. I don't know. I was of two mindsets at the time, and Michelle knows as much. Is that I was very honored to have the opportunity, and clearly having this opportunity dangling in front of me is huge, and I could either have gone of one of two directions. I could have either gone for it. Actually, it's one of three directions. I could have gone for it, fell on my ass, learnt from my mistakes. 2, gone for it and was successful. Or 3, give up such an amazing industry-based and working with amazing people, working alongside amazing people, was just, again, something to behold. And that's something I will treasure for a long time. And having actual international delegates of this convention asking for me and saying, like, talking about me in a positive way. And I remember the first night very distinctly of the welcome networking event. I won't go into too many of the details because I can't on air. There's some personal stuff that happens that night that I don't really want to be sharing on the internet. Hey, tell you what, if you donate $1 billion to our Patreon page at geek-io.net/Patreon, we'll get that hooked up for you. But again, there was something that I wanted to grab a hold of, and I was incredibly nervous. Spoiler alert, I suck at networking. Turns out, properly formatted, business-based networking, I absolutely suck at. Now, put me in a social environment, like a Dragon Con, or at Disney. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. At the Disney. But put me in those situations, and I definitely am kind of in my comfortable element, because these are people I've not had to experience those places alone, if that makes sense. And if I am alone in those places, heaven forbid, definitely have had someone on close standby. It's not like, yeah, you know, it's definitely, you know, I haven't had to be there by myself, and heaven forbid if I actually, you know, ever got in trouble in those places. That'd be so awkward. But, you know, it's like, actually, you know what, here locally, thinking about it, and this is completely off topic, yeah, surprise, surprise, off air, I go off topic as well, but Uber drivers. Now, I don't understand why I'm so comfortable around Uber drivers who are effectively, I'm getting into a stranger's car and letting them drive me around town. Right? It's basically the same thing, but I was so nervous on that first day of that networking event. It's because it was so overwhelming. And yes, that there are different types of conventions. This is a business convention that has you thinking all day. Not that Dragon Con is all thinking, you know, is not thinking, if that makes sense. You know, you still require a lot of energy and a lot of brain work, but it's a different part of the brain. For me, Dragon Con was the creative side of me, and the business convention, the international learning convention, was a logic-based thinking. But apart from that networking event, which apparently I did way too well at, according to some sources, and I seriously thought that I was going to get in trouble for what I did at that convention, actually at that networking event. but I was later talking to the founder of the company that I was doing the internship for, and apparently that is quite normal. And if you haven't figured it out by now, please hit me up at geek-show.net/discord. If you want to know the full details, you can DM me, and I'll fill in the blanks for you if you are not following along. But I was... this is funny. We had a farewell party for the delegation, and somehow, some way, I ended up in charge of the after drinks, which is weird because we had a live band, and we had a band there. We were performing, people were performing, we were doing awards, and we were doing thank yous, which to have the mayor of your city call you out live on microphone to say thank you for your excellent work. Thank you, Dale Campbell from James Cook University, the intern, for helping out study cans. To have the mayor say those words, it's unbelievable. Nothing that I will probably experience ever again. And I just really want to end on this. And I know hour 2 is probably going to be very short because of the way this worked out. But life is... I don't know why I got very verklempt then. But life... It taught me one valuable lesson, that life is very short. And you've got to go with the flow and grab every single opportunity that you can while it lasts. And even if you don't succeed at those opportunities, you'll learn what to do for the next opportunity, and there will always be a next opportunity that comes up, be it 1 second later, or 1 month later, or 1 day later, or 1 year later. Those opportunities definitely will be there for you. That's what I learned throughout my whole degree. There were moments there that I laughed, I cried, I got very angry at some people. Oof. And I really, really regret some of the things that I've done whilst doing my university degree. But at the same token, if I hadn't have done those things, I wouldn't have experienced them. And I think the perfect time to experience some awesome experiences is in those prime years, for sure. And while, I may be young and I have a very, very long journey ahead of me, I would take this thing away from the last 5 years of my life. Never underestimate the power of friendship. Never. And caffeine. But mainly friendship and family. And again, you having this show as that creative outlet all these years has been amazing. Whew. Alright, well, this is the part of the show. No, this is the part of the show where I would normally hang out with the chat room, except one problem, I don't have a chat room. One problem, I don't have outro music. I do have outro music. I think we're going to end it there. Thank you everyone for joining us. Actually, you know what? Let's do some pluggage. My name's Dale Campbell. You can find the show on Facebook.com/generic live show, Twitter.com/geekio show, Facebook.com/GeekIO Show. They're the two main Google. They're the main two Google. Just home from work. Minty fresh. They're the main two platforms that you can find us on. YouTube.com/GeekIO Show. Remember, Patreon.com/GeekIO Show. You can get the pre-show, the post-show, the hour 1, hour 2, all in one nifty RSS feed. And, it's always fine. Hey, if you want to follow my adventures, you can do so. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/the Campbell. That's TheDaleCampbell. You can find me there as well. You know what? We're probably not going to have much of a... actually, you know what? Let's do kick it to the... We do owe it to everyone who has suffered through this long video to do an after show. So I don't know what we're going to do in the post show, but stay tuned anyway. We'll figure it out live to hard drive. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. I've been Dale Campbell. I will continue to be Dale Campbell unless something changes. Hey, we can play the extendo mix. Hey, let's play the whole extendo mix, shall we? Let's do the extendo mix. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. It's been a pleasure as always. It's Dale Campbell, and we'll see you all next week. Bye for now. And I hope you've enjoyed this Kiko Media Network production. Copyright 2018, you see how that works? Yeah.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.